Welcome to the class 13 of the Python course. In the last class, we studied the file handling. I taught you how to read a file, how to write in a file, and how to append in a file with a lot of examples. In this class, we'll be studying exceptions. If we have written a huge amount of code and we have error in between, we can avoid the error and still make the code to run. So let's see how we can do that. Exceptions. Python uses special objects called exceptions to manage errors that arise during a program's execution. When an error occurs that makes Python unsure what to do next, it creates an exception object if you write code. And here is an example. Handling the zero division error exception. Let's look at a simple error that causes Python to raise an exception. You probably know that it's impossible to divide a number by zero. Well, let's ask Python to do it anyway. So let's do it. We say print 5 divided by 0. And if I run the program, as you can see, it has raised an exception handling error that it itself says that it's zero division error, division by 0. So how we can fix this? We can fix this by using try except block. So first of all, we are going to type try semicolon, then indentation 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 spaces for the indentation. Then we are going to type except zero division error and again semicolon, and then we are going to print a statement whatever you like to print, but it's zero error, so we have to say that you can't divide by 0. Now if I run the program, you will see it says you can't divide by 0. When the code runs, the computer goes into this statement try, it skips it after checking that it's an error, and then goes into the exception, that is you cannot divide by 0. And now let's move on to the next concept, that is to use exceptions to prevent crashes. That is our program 2. So how we can do this? First of all, let's write a program. What this does the similar sort of work. We are taking two numbers and then dividing them. So first of all, let's put in the statements. Give me two numbers. I'll divide them. So this is the first statement that we are printing. Now we will print another statement that enter Q2 exit. Now we use the while loop. While true, and inside we take our first number, that is first underscore number will be equal to is input, enter your first number. And now we will set up a condition for if the person wants to quit. So first number equal to checks that if the person has entered a string or not. So we are setting up a condition with the if. After setting up the condition, we move to break state. Now let's move on to the second underscore number is equal to input, enter your second number. And again, we will use the statement second number. If second number is equal to the string q, then just break the program. Now here begins our exception part. So here again, our answer will be equal to int and first number divided by int second underscore number, and then we are going to put the answer. Now if I run the program, I type first 8 and then 2. It's giving us the answer 4. But if I enter Q, it quits the program. And again, if I go for the 0 one, I divide 5 by 0, it's giving us the error again. So we will apply the same technique that we have used earlier, that we will use the try exception method. How we can do that? We are going to use try semicolon inside this block, then except zero division error if function, and we need indentation here as well. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. And now we'll also use the else statement, else print the answer. And here we have to type that again the same message, you can't divide by 0, and make sure we have the indentation in place. Now if I run the program and give it 5 divided by 2, it's giving us 2.5. And if I give 5 divided by 0, it's saying us you can't divide by 0. So it is using this except zero division error. And now if you press Q, it quits the program. So this is how you can make use of the try, except, and else statements for exception handling. Now let's move on to the next concept, program 3, that says handling the file not found error. File not found error. So let's say we are importing a file, that is file name equal to alice.txt. So I already have a file with the alice, but I have renamed it underscore alice, right? So I should be able to present or this concept in front of you and hope you understand. So I'll open the file as I taught you how to open the file in the last lecture. File name as f underscore object and then contents equal to f underscore object dot read. Alright, so if I run the program, it's giving us this error, no such file or directory found with the alice.x. How we can fix this? We can fix this in the same way. We have to write try, then give the indentation 1 2 3 4, and again 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So enter this indentation for this one and this for this one. And now and then we have to write accept file not found error. And then we'll type the message equal to sorry, the file name does not exist. And then we're going to print the message. Now if I run this, it's saying sorry, the file alice.txt does not exist. So this is how you can handle any file error you get in the future. And now the thing that to say is the text used in this section come from the project Gutenberg. Project Gutenberg maintains a collection of literary works that are available in the public domain, and it's a great resource if you're interested in working with literary texts in your programming projects. So if you're doing any text based projects in the future, just go to this website and you can download the text data. Now let's move on to the next concept, that is analyzing text. Program for analyzing text. So for this we are creating a string title equal to Alice in Wonderland. Then we will split the title using the split method, and now we will have print this. You will see that it will be sliced, right? If I run this, as you can see, Alice in Wonderland, this whole text is divided and saved into a list. Now if I take my progress program and paste it here, then I make use of my else block and I just count the number of words in data. Now remember that I told you I have named it underscore Alice, and here is that data here. All of it's a huge amount of information about Alice in Wonderworld. So we have this. Now we are going to do is we'll count the words content dot split. Now what this will do, it is going to split all of this data just like this one. All right. Yes, this one, this that we just did, and now this will split the whole of the context of the Alice data. And now we are going to create another variable that is going to be number of words, and that will be equal to the length of the words, right? So we'll get to know how many words are in this data. And now we will print this. Okay, the file plus file name plus as about plus string num words plus. Okay, this is the file name that we created earlier right here. That is going to be list.txt, and this is just the printing and the converting this integer value into the numbers, and the remaining part is just beautify the text. Now if I run my program and it says that the file alice.txt has around 29,461 words, that is a huge value. And these are words, these are not characters. If I only use character, then that is going to be a lot more. So I just read this whole book or this whole data. I split its value and converted it into words, and then I counted. And this is how, if I change its value such that I change Alice to a file which does not exist and run it, it's simply saying sorry, the file the alice.txt does not exist. So this is how we can make use of the try, except, and else block. They make good use of it and prevent errors and crashes and make our code smooth, the running of our programming smooth. Now let's move on to the next concept, that is the program file, and in this we will study working with multiple files. Working with multiple files. So first of all, we are going to define a function which I taught you in my class 10, that how to define function. I shared with you lots of examples. So define a function, define count words and file name. And first thing, we define a function, and then we tell in the inverted commas that what the function does. So this function count the approximate number of words in a file. File names equal to. So all of these files which are I am writing now, I have downloaded it from the website that I told you earlier, and then I saved it, and then I imported it by simply dragging the files here. So I have Elise, Little Woman, movie 5 million, and we have Siddhartha. We have all of these files here that I just simply downloaded and pasted here. Siddhartha.txt, then we have the Mobi txt.txt, and the next file we have that is little underscore woman dot txt. Now let's count the words. For that, first of all, we will be using for loop for file name in file names. You can name it whatever you want. Let's change it. Let's change to something count in file names. For count in file names, we'll type, and then here is the body of our loop, count words in file name. Now if I run my program, oh sorry, it's supposed to be count. I just literally copy from the book. Anyways, alright, so we have to print, we have to print this as well. Print. Alright, the next thing we need is our previous code that we wrote, just copy, because the thing we did for one file, now we are going to do this for all of the files. Paste here, and I'm getting an error. Alright, so I am getting indentation errors. The code, we have a function, we have 4 files, and we are using a for loop to loop through this 4 times and count us the words. So I was getting an error with the Mobi file, and it was due to the encoding. So I had to pass this argument into the while opening the file, that encoding set to UTF-8, and I found out through this a chatbot. So if you encounter the errors or problems, then you should also look out on the Google and found their solutions. Now if I run the program, you can see it has successfully counted all the words for the Elise, Siddhartha, Mobi, and Little Woman. And yeah, in this way you can work with multiple files. And if I repeat this, I defined a function count words, and then I use the try exception error. In the try block, I wrote to take the file that is going to be file name, and I set its type to UTF-8 as of object. And then inside this, I'm reading all the files which we want to, because inside a function we can call the function as many times as we want. That's the benefit of this. Then we have the except block, and in this I have top this message called the sorry the file does not exist. Then we have the else, that if everything goes smooth, just print the results that we have smoothly printed. Now the next concept is failing silently, but you don't need to report every exception you catch. For that, all we have to do is simply write here to pass instead of all this information. So let me just comment this out and type here failing silently program 6, and inside that what we can do is we just remove this part and type here pass. And if I run the program by changing the name of the file, this file, this file, this file, this file, so there's no error and there is no warning as well. But if I reverse it and now I change the name of the files, it is giving us the warning that sorry the file does not exist, all the file does not show or print the error, and just make it silent. And the next concept is just the opposite of it, in which we see what type of error that has occurred. So if I just printing error, and in that we have try, check, int, input, and we're taking a number as input, enter your number. And then what we are going to do is we are printing this a plus 3, and then we're using the exception, accept exception as e underscore name, and then we are going to print e name. So if I run the program and I say that like 3, so I type 0 here, and the error it's showing us is the division by 0. So this is how you can also print that what sort of error you are getting. And if I modify the program such that I have a plus 3, right? And if I just run it and add a string to it like sad. Okay, so it's giving us the invalid literal for int with base 10 sad. So here is another use of the try, except, and else block. And hope you learned something new today. And there are more errors like the syntax error, name error, type error, value error, index error, key error, attribute error. And these two I have taught you. Import error, memory error. And we'll just read about them 1 to 2 lines, that what are these errors. These are easily available on the internet. Just like the syntax error is if I don't put the semicolon here, or I just remove this comma from here. So this is the syntax. And name error is I don't use the print the name of the print. So hope you learn this concept, and you can learn from me on one-on-one coaching or a group coaching. Just message me on my social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Instagram, and I'll teach you there. And if you have any question, you can ask in the comment sections. And yeah, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next class.